Hello, hello, my friends. It is Hondo, and welcome back to the Knights of the Nerd Republic. You know what to do, and stay profitable.
The Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Well, I will see you all weekend long, but I am here with a very exciting announcement. In collaboration with our friends at Scopely, we are bringing Star Wars to one of the most popular mobile games. So get ready to roll your dice and jump into Lightspeed as we experience an all-new limited time event in Monopoly Go!
Monopoly Go! Monopoly Go to the polls. You heard here first. You got it.
I just no, not by you.
Is it too early to do Bayou Bill?
No, it's not. It's not. I want to read for the class. Eli's, I can't tell if this is a bit.
It's all a bit. It's always a bit.
I want to read to the class. Angie, friend of the show, patron, and friend in real life, said that they just arrived, them and their wife, to help watch our animals while we were away. And said perfect time on the live, 100% playing it to chill them out while we clean because they made a mess. And I think it's deeply funny that the version of to chill them out is me and Bill screaming about Monopoly Go Star Wars.
It's very exciting collaboration.
We are back for our last day of coverage for Star Wars Celebration. Coming a little later than the last 2 days, mostly because Taylor and I went out to the aquarium today, and our only real chance to do that was early this morning. So we had to cut and run a little early, so we're doing this a little bit later. I will be getting the podcast version of this stream and yesterday's out into the podcast feed shortly when we're done here today, while we're watching WrestleMania here in a minute. And yes, the love of Miss Taylor says the animals are messy criminals, and that is indeed true. Okay. But we got some news for the final day of Star Wars Celebration. On the lighter side, but the biggest news item, obviously, is the location of the next Star Wars Celebration in 2027. You know, we're going to Los Angeles for Star Wars Celebration. 50 years of Star Wars coming at us here in only a couple years, which is crazy to think about. Before we jump into today's news, however, Bill, you were not able to be with us yesterday. Did you have any thoughts on yesterday's kind of batch of news coming out of the convention?
You know, a couple things really stood out to me. I liked what I saw with Zero Company more than I thought I would. Because I'm not usually an RTS guy, but it looks like you put a Star Wars code on anything, and I'll probably give it a try. Yeah. So like, it looked really, really interesting. I was a little disappointed we didn't get something specific from Jedi's, like Survivor, Fallen Order 3, what Jedi. Yeah. But you know, and they're starting to like put out reviews for Andor season 2, which yeah, no, absolutely. That's 100%. Yeah. Regardless of whatever corporate shill media it is. So he's going to scream. It's interesting that like all these reviews are coming out and it's like, this is the best Star Wars show ever. Once again, my thing with Andor is I'm much more of a like Jedi-centric, the Force. I love that kind of stuff.
We're all here for our mysticism. It's also Happy Easter.
Yeah, Happy Easter.
That's your jam.
He is risen. And of course, I'm talking the Rizzler. He's
the Rizzler.
Rizzen. It's,
you know what I will say, and not to cut you off.
Not to cut you off, but cutting me off. You know.
This might be a little mean-spirited. the Palpatine somehow Jesus returned memes, they were funny 1 year,
Mhm.
and that was 2020, a year after the movie, and there's been a precipitous drop off in how funny they are. And I haven't seen many today. So congratulations, everybody, for getting that joke out of your fucking system.
We did it, Joe. I will say,
not to be a dick, it stopped being funny 4 years
for
ago.
me, the one like Easter meme that always gets me
Drake
is
and
the Drake and Jones. Every single thing.
Where's Christ?
Where's the body of Christ, John? Have you seen it? It always works for me. I don't know. I don't know why. It just
That
does.
one always gets me. That one
always gets me. But I'm excited to see Andor season 2. And I think what's interesting about that is like the 3-episode cycle. I think it's basically getting a new movie every Tuesday for the next like month and a half, which is awesome. So I'm glad that the reviews are great.
Yeah.
I think looking at Ahsoka season 2, some of the stuff they revealed, the thing that really like popped for me, there were two main.
Because you've seen the concept art. By the time we were out and about for the day, like in Kentucky, like the concept art had come out and we hadn't seen it. So I had talked about the panel, I had seen it in the concept.
So there was a kind of sizzle reel that was like kind of like old, like framed in like an old school like 70s trailer where it was like Ahsoka season 2, and like it was showing like there were like big ass machines, like it's giving kind of Celestials from the Eternals, like it's doing that kind of thing, and it's what I think I assumed that Anakin was going to return because like you don't show him like as basically the last shot of the show.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna like have.
And I'm glad that he just came out with that. I know a lot of speculation is on Ewan returning.
Yeah.
And they're like doing this just straight flashbacks.
I know it's a tangent, but like, are you like? Because up until this point, we've only really gotten, old Kenobi as a Force Ghost. Do you think they do old like Ewan and old Kenobi makeup, or do you?
That's a fun question. I don't know. I think it's going to be a flashback so that they don't have to answer that question. I think they sidestep that completely by just doing like flashbacks. And Ewan has talked at conventions lately about like, oh, I'd love to wear that armor like Hayden got to.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so that's probably more likely. But like, here's the thing. I'm a slut for anybody coming back from the prequels. So like, you could listen. You want to bring? Speaking of sluts, you want to bring out Kitty and Mundi? Like, come on, like, bring him back. Like, do whatever you want to do.
Y'all would not be ready for the crowd pop for me if I got Coyote Mundi in 2. Count them 2 Disney Plus Star Wars shows.
Yeah, but like, and listen, that reaction is more emotionally intelligent than 99% of the people that complained about him being in the Acolyte.
You're right.
I
said, I miraculously went from being the only person who cared about Coyote Mundi on the internet to there apparently being a lot of them. He needs to stay his ass inside. In the words of the great American poet Kendrick Lamar.
Also, I have been a little nervous about Rory.
Rory McCann.
Rory McCann as replacing the late great Ray Stevenson for Balin. And I think that's just because my like interaction or like what I've seen him in has been Game of Thrones, and like it's the same character. Like he's not particularly interesting to me as the Hound. But like then I saw the trait. Like, I saw like his like behind the scenes, like him in the costume, and then I was like, okay, I'm in. Like
I like it. I like him in that picture. You know, I saw in the Comic Book Cast Facebook group that I'm in. Mitch 692, host of Pro and Noob, was talking about how like the thing that's not working for him is that while Ray Stevenson had a grizzled look to him, there was a softness to his face that Rory McCann doesn't quite have. And I think that a lot of that, like that soft edge to just how Rey looked brought a lot of that like enigmatic, like Balin does not feel like an arch villain of Star Wars. He's clearly a bad guy and has motivations that make sense but are still like morally not great. But like he does not feel maniacal, and that like Roy McCann's features have a hardness to them that like kind of counterbalance that. So we'll see. It'll all be in the performance, but
it's giving. Oh my god, I said it's giving.
The third time you said it's giving.
It's okay, good. It's giving. What's Shang-Chi's dad's name? Where like he
Wenwu.
Wenwu. It's giving Wenwu. Where like I think it'd be interesting because I agree with you with like the soft features of Rey. I think it'd be interesting if they're like use the recast as like a way to like kind of show that like this is a different galaxy. Obviously the father, son, and
the daughter, like the Mortis gods.
Yeah, the Mortis gods are like affecting him, and that's like an interesting. Like there will inevitably be a "you look different" like I line where it's like, well, I'm going after these.
I mean, hey, dark side degradation is like a Legends concept that has never been touched in canon, where it's like being deeply entrenched in the dark side just fucks with you physically.
Well, yeah.
And I've always loved that concept, or like it's why Vader, when we see him, is like all pale and white once his helmet comes off. And it's like, it's not because he's healed, it's because like he's so connected to the dark side that even if the burns have started to soften after years of Bacta and all of the medication he's constantly taking, that like there's still no coming back from the fact that like the dark side has taken a toll on your body aside from your injuries on Mustafar.
I like that. It's for me, it's the KOTOR of it all.
Yes.
As a KOTOR boy myself.
Yes.
I love it. So yeah, that's kind of just things that I remembered from yesterday.
Hell yeah. Like I said, I'm excited. I will say, just putting it out there. I said it yesterday. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again with somebody else in the room. I am tired. Disney, Lucasfilm, I am tired of being gaslit and told that lightsaber is orange.
It is orange.
That picture of Roy McCann, that is a red fucking blade.
Hold on.
That is a red blade if I've ever seen one, and that is going to be the hill I die on. Even the action figures and Legos of Balin and Shin, they just said fucking give them red blades. I want that shit to be bright orange, like the kind of orange we see in video games.
I want to respectfully disagree with you because like that's orange.
Okay, that looks orange through the camera on the thing.
That's it. That's the color.
The image I showed on screen yesterday. Hold on.
I just like the idea of like it's such a cool visual thing to do where like this guy's bad but like he's not like fully all the way there yet, like he hasn't bled the crystal. Like it's interesting to me because like that's have there been canon besides this like orange kyber crystals?
The closest we've come is that Jedi Fallen Order made the existence of orange crystals canon.
Interesting. Okay. Well, and then
because like canonically Cal is still blue, which even though I'm a blue lightsaber guy, I wish he had anything but blue and green.
Well, for me, it's as a ginger having an orange lightsaber. It feels a little on the nose. It's like
I always give Cal orange.
It's okay.
Because it feels so unique. He is a Jedi with such a unique path that I'm like he deserves a unique blade.
So what I'm saying is the carpet matches a lightsaber.
Yes, the carpet and the drapes all match the blade. Incredible. But for today's news,
Eric, you could not know how like to me like one of my best friends. He calls me Ginger Snap. Like those are our stage names. It's Ginger Snap and he's Chocolate Drop. So thank you. From one Ginger Snap to another. I appreciate it.
Ginger Snap, Chocolate Drop.
Well, because
it's giving. He's the rapper and I'm the DJ.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
What's the other comment? It's definitely a hot take, but I kind of like the new actors look for Balin more than Rey. What does it? What does if the rumors are true that Anakin goes to a guy, mind, body, and soul, or Abeloth does? We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I am hoping for Abeloth. And I know that's going to get clipped out and used to shame me as a Legends shill, but I mean that with my whole chest. I'm like,
There's always a little truth in Legends. I don't know if you've heard that.
and I would love to see the Eldritch abomination that is Abeloth in canon. But we do have news about Star Wars Visions. Eli, I am so not hoping for Abeloth. We also have stuff from Star Wars Visions. So we have a release date. October 29th, 2025 is when we're going to be getting all of the episodes for Volume 3 of Star Wars Visions. We are going to be getting some follow-ups, which is very exciting. So we're getting a sequel to The Duel, which is going to be called The Duel Payback. We're getting a follow-up to The Village Bride. And The Ninth Jedi is not only getting a follow-up, it is also getting its own spin-off miniseries.
That's all. I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's like,
so we're getting The Village Bride, The Lost Ones, which will be the follow-up for that. And then Ninth Jedi sequel episode will be titled The Child of Hope. And then there's going to be a Star Wars Visions Presents The Ninth Jedi.
that's awesome.
As its own spin-off show. They said it's going to be a miniseries, so it'll probably only be one season. But
I love that they are taking the things that work in Visions and expanding them, because like 15-20 minutes is not enough for these characters. I like the little self-contained stories, but like show me more. Like the Duel is one of like the
Duel was my favorite.
Yeah,
the surprising the fucking nobody.
Yeah.
The Duel was my favorite.
It's like the perfect entryway into exactly what the concept of Visions is. And that's my thing with Volume 2 was there was nothing that like really stood out to me in the same way as the Duel or the Night. Like basically all the ones that they're making more of are the ones that like
it's triumvirate of Duel, Ninth Jedi, Village Bride.
Mm-hmm.
That is like kind of like across the board.
Absolutely.
Everybody loves. I also, mad respect to La Pinocho from Volume 1. We love La Pinocho. We love La Pinocho. We love those little bunnies with their lightsabers. I also, one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life is seeing Mitch and Eli interact and in agreement. Those are two people I don't need being friends with each other.
It's okay. Don't worry.
That Jedi spin-off is really exciting. I agree, and I agree with what you said, Bill. I know the whole point of Visions is like, let's just give a, animation studio, like we're going back to just strictly like Japanese anime for Volume 3, where Volume 2 was kind of like all over the world, which was great. It was a lot of fun. Can I
say something?
Volume 2 didn't stick with me either.
Can I say? So I think Volume 2 didn't hit as hard because like Star Wars was so inspired by Seven Samurai and like Japanese films.
Yeah.
The minute that you do it, the minute you go outside of that, like it just did the studio that does My Hero Academia, did they do anything for Visions? Because like I would love to see like
Mitch, you're in the comments. Answer that question because I can't remember. I don't think that's Studio Trigger, is it?
There was like I watched the first like 2 or 3 episodes of Volume 2, and it's just like it's not the same. Like it didn't tickle that fancy that I was looking for in like a Star Wars anime, because that just like that phrase Star Wars anime like is such like, oh, do more of that. Like that makes sense.
Yeah. The list of studios for this round, Trigger and Kinema Citrus Company, who also have 2 episodes this season are coming in. But new studios will be The Smuggler by Studio Trigger, where they're not new, but like the newer episodes. Yuko's Treasure by Kinema Citrus Company, The Bounty Hunters by Wit Studio, The Song of Four Wings by Project Q, and then The Bird of Paradise by Polygon Pictures, and Black by David Production. So we got some real hitters here. I know Mitch made a comment about Gainax, which was the studio for Evangelion. Had one in Volume 1, and now that Evangelion has low-key ruined my life. Studio Bones.
Okay.
I don't think they were around for either of these. To my knowledge.
Listen,
Thank you, man.
whatever Studio Bones, if they ever do a Visions or if they do any Star Wars anime, I'm seated. I'm already there.
God, I can just hear like a fucking like incredible Jedi action moment set to "You Say Run." The power of the Force. Anyway, we also got a trailer for Visions Volume 3. Trailer was bitching. It was a lot of fun. I will say there were certain things in Visions. There's a lot of things in Visions that I don't know how I would feel about it being done in anything canon. You know, for example, like the lightsaber umbrella from the duel, which has now been turned into this bizarre lightsaber gauntlet. In the trailer for 3, that's stuff that I'm like, I don't know if I need that. But I would love to see the fucking AT-ATs under ice jumping out of the ice.
That was really cool.
That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. That I would not mind seeing in canon. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming through for Visions. I'm very excited for this. And a little bit of sizzle for those of you guys who hang out with us over on Pro and Noob at the Mitch692 channel. We do plan on doing a season on the Ninth Jedi spinoff when it's out. We might even do weekly coverage of that. Time will tell. But that is it for Visions for now. The other fun little nugget, we got the official announcement of what we're to look forward to for Star Wars Fortnite season this year.
Are we going to stream that? We should definitely do a stream of the Star Wars Fortnite.
I agree with you. I would
like of all our podcast friends. Like you mean to tell me that Bombad Scotty as Dark Jar Jar? You don't think that would
listen? I want to
get
get
on a.
I want to give mad props to Fortnite right now. This is the first time Fortnite Battle Pass.
My God. So Eric, when I read that first as the Claude offensive, and like I was like that, and so that feels like a maneuver in Fortnite that I will be doing like with these guys. All right, it's time to do the Cloud offensive. It's time. Put it up.
I love my cameos in the Claude offshore videos. No, I think I want to give mad props to Fortnite because this is the first time in a very, very, very long time I have seen anything to do with Darth Jar Jar, and it did not make me immediately roll my fucking eyes.
Well, you got to lean into it at some point.
I know it just got leaned into too much. It's been leaned into too much. But the way that they're playing it completely straight with the Fortnite stuff of like here's Jar Jar with a red lightsaber.
So you don't like Lego Darth Jar Jar?
I did not watch Rebuild the Galaxy.
But like just the idea, like
because those are so stale to me.
Those are the two things. Like it's Fortnite and Lego. Like
I know
notorious like not fun things. Lego and Fortnite.
There. Also, Brian Fantasy 2027 EC sleepover at Eli's. That will go from all of us being mean in kayfabe online to there being like an actual like WWE style street fight very quickly because some singles champions don't know when to stop being in kayfabe in private.
You're saying words that don't mean anything.
Do you know what kayfabe means?
What the fuck is kayfabe?
So kayfabe is like the projected unreality in the ring into the real world. Okay. So like in kayfabe, I was like enslaved.
I feel like I'm having a stroke right now.
So in kayfabe, I was like enslaved to like the cosmic entity that was Cookie Con.
I want you to know, the way that I describe Star Wars to people, I feel like the other person now, where I'm just like, where it's just like, yeah, Bill, totally, yeah, for sure,
And then Gisor Delso and Droopy McCool saved the galaxy by fighting Elon Slismagato. Like,
this is in 70 years. Dementia-laden Bill Sheehy in the nursing home.
Eli, who's never watched like a minute of wrestling, is also going to never explain kayfabe, which is the point of kayfabe that you're never supposed to address it.
Like what?
That was like a big deal. There was like I can't remember all the details, but there was like a big retirement match for a wrestler, and like the cameras were supposed to cut away, but like after the match was over, it was like a triple threat, and all of these guys who were like friends in real life, but like pretended they hated each other for the sport. Like they all did like a big group hug to like, hey man, it was an honor working with you, and people were fucking pissed.
What?
Because it was like we don't want to know that you actually like each other, you know.
Well, we can all agree.
Listen, you were busy with very important things.
No.
So I didn't have my chance to like sell you on all of the absurdity of professional wrestling.
No. Here's the thing. I get like so
when you watch me cry real tears when Cody Rhodes is inevitably dethroned tonight. Yeah.
I'm telling you, as somebody who openly cried in The Rise of Skywalker the first time he saw it. Yeah, no, I get it. Like I understand feeling it. Like they're characters, man. But like everything you just said, I still have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Don't worry, I'll explain the difference between a work and a shoot to you later, and you'll have it straight for real.
Kayfabe is in the other dimension.
It's in the other dimension. I'm putting that on a fucking shirt.
That's exactly what you said to me. That's what I heard.
We're like arguing about but like I'm making you crash over Kayfabe when we were 30 minutes into WrestleMania, which is even funnier. Oh fuck! So Star Wars Fortnite.
Do you want to do the names of the different events? Or
Yeah. I'm gonna jump into that. So there's gonna be lots of cosmetic items. We'll jump into that in a minute. It's gonna be a full season, much like the Marvel one recently. So May 2nd starts Imperial Takeover.
Didn't that start in January?
That took me a second.
Listen, it's okay. Okay, you explain keyfabe to me, but you explained kayfabe to me, but you couldn't get a political joke. That's fine. Don't worry. We'll work on it.
Listen,
we have to teach each other things. It's
yeah. No, infamously politically inactive person, Jarod Bachman stuff. May 2nd is the Imperial Takeover. Pull of the Force starts on May 8th. Mandalorian Rising will begin on May 22nd, followed by Star Destroyer Bombardment on May 29th. And then the end of the season will come through with Death Star Sabotage on June 7th.
That's true.
Yeah. I'm fucking sweating through my shirt. Oh, God. My hair hasn't fully recovered. There was when we went to the aquarium today, there was like a hurricane wind simulator thing that I got in. And my hair, it blew my hair straight down. Like it was like a reverse toupee situation. Where I could go straight back, where this one blew my hair straight down. I looked like I had like an emo bowl cut. When it comes to Battle Royale experience, the Battle Pass revealed the pass will include Emperor Palpatine and a new Wookiee rendition of the Wookiee Cuddle Team leader, which is the Wookiee that Bill has the hots for, apparently. On the item
number one Wookiee Cuddle Team leader.
The item shop, Christ. It appears that Mace Windu will be available. On the gameplay side, new maps, X-Wing and TIE fighters to control. Force Lightning will be a usable skill. And Poe Dameron and Captain Phasma will also make an appearance.
Interesting.
Yes, we have Mace, Phasma, Palpatine, Darth Jar Jar, Poe, Phasma. And then it is. And I don't think they've said anything else about other cosmetics coming through. Although I'm sure the other Star Wars cosmetics that have come to the game will be like on sale throughout the event. So like Boba Fett, Fennec Shand, Alden Diaz's favorite character, Black Chrysanthemum. Black Chrysanthemum. So get ready to hit women with Black Chrysanthemum.
You're gonna. Where's the button? Ethan Klein, where's your button right now? Get the button right now. What the fuck are you doing? What did you say? Get your button. What are you doing?
Those who know. What was it? Makes me want to be in Fortnite and Galaxy of Heroes finally asshole Jedi Master. Fuck off.
That's a good point.
Mace is the GOAT. Mace is so much better than Yoda, and it's not even close. Mace would do.
Dog.
Yoda did not.
Dog, got that dog.
Remember when I sent like 8 videos of that guy a day in
Yeah.
our group chat?
Oh, absolutely. No, it was great. I loved it because like he's a specifically like basketball like content creator most of the time, and like I appreciate it because I he talks about Kentucky players like that.
He goes about that.
Dog.
All right, so that's all the big news. Aside from, we now know Star Wars Celebration 2027 is going to be in Los Angeles.
Yep.
I'm
gonna be
I have every intention of being there. I have every intention of having a nice time there. I plan on going to Disneyland. I'm ready for all of it. It's very exciting. 50 years of Star Wars. They unveiled like the 50 years anniversary logo, which is basically the same as the 40 years, which is basically a take on the 30 years where it's like the Luke and Leia with it pulling up the lightsaber.
I'm very, very excited for that because like anybody who was alive, who is alive and is like anyone who's still alive who was involved in that will be there. So your big panel with George will be there, Harrison will be there, Mark will be there.
I think it's crazy that I have more faith in George being there than Harrison.
Man, here's the thing. He showed up in Anaheim, was it 3 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And like my biggest regret was I wasn't able to get inside that panel when I.
That's true.
And like because like you had Harrison, Mark, or was Mark there? No, Mark wasn't. I don't think he wasn't there. But
I wasn't there.
Because they did Dial of Destiny, but so they had
Don. Right.
They had Don Williams do like roll him out there, let him conduct. That's all I need to see, and like have George Lucas say, "This is the secret sauce." That's all I want to see. I want to see that live and in person. And the thing with I love that Celebration is in different places, outside of the U.S., London, Japan, but like just for like United States people, it's way easier to get a flight to L.A.
In a brief moment of us being myopic Americans, we would like to get there and it not be halfway across the planet.
Mm-hmm. Right, and so one of the most fun I had at like any convention was in Anaheim in 2022, and so it's just so easy.
Indeed.
Well, listen, who says no?
I mean, here's what I'm hoping for, big time. I'm really hoping that the George Lucas Museum is open and ready.
I think it should be at that point.
I think it would be insane if it isn't in time for 50 years of Star Wars.
That man, I think, is going to do everything in his power to make sure it opens in the next like year and a half. So like, because like if you can do, is it in Los Angeles?
I don't remember where. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like in
or San Francisco. Hold on.
Might be San Francisco. I don't remember. Can't say San Fran or Cisco. Eddie Izzard taught me that. This is one of my favorite bits from their special Dress to Kill. But yeah, man. I mean, like I said, we all kind of expected it to be a domestic, but be like close enough to a park. I think them punting from Anaheim to LA is interesting. Like I said, it still has the proximity. Like it's only like an hour away from Disneyland. So time will tell what they do with that and how like involved the parks will be. But yeah, it's still gonna be. They're gonna blow the roof off that fucking place, and it's a month before Starfighter. Like if Starfighter does not get delayed, which it could, they go into production this year. Who knows? But if Starfighter stays on target, no pun intended, for its release date, we will get Star Wars Celebration 2027 just over a month before. Mm-hmm. So what that means?
Can I make a prediction for 2 years out?
Sure. Everybody, time mark this right now. 34/27 on this stream.
First trailer of the Rey movie will come out. I think it'll be ready in that episode. Okay. the Rey movie. It's so the first trailer for Episode 10 in 2020.
So you think that the Simon Kinberg working on a trilogy and the Rey movie are going to become one thing? Because it's been talked about as two different things up to this point.
But like they've also
you wouldn't be the first person to say that. I'm not saying you're crazy for that supposition.
They also like have said that like Rey is also going to be involved with both of those movies. So like,
that's still in the rumor that she shows up in whatever the Sean Levy movie is that we now know is Starfighter. Which would make sense. It's 5 years after Exegol.
I'm just thinking, would you rather have a solo specific like Rey movie, like, or would you rather have Episode 10 where Rey is the main character?
There's a greedy part of me that wants both.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't disagree.
There's a part of me that's greedy and wants both, and there's a part of me that logistically would like a movie that is all about Rey's order. That's all about like, here's what the Jedi Order under Rey Skywalker looks like at this point in time, and then shit happens that is like, okay, and now
and that would kind of make sense because then you kind of this is.
I don't necessarily think it's going to happen like that. I think it's one or the other. I think we're either getting Rey or Rey is the main character of a trilogy, and whatever that story was gets retooled into.
Well, and like I think what you want to do is you want to like, because I think people, despite what the internet will tell you, despite what little Canadian fucktards will tell. Oh my god, take that out.
It's live.
Okay,
sorry.
Never mind. I said fuck tarts.
Hey, you had a moment.
That's fine. No worries.
Okay. Like I'm a stranger to doing something live and immediately regretting it.
No, don't worry about it. Here's a theory for you. Despite what they will tell you, I think that people like Rey.
They do.
And having her as the main character in the new Jedi Order, establishing this is what it looks like, and then for the new generation having the new main character in Episode 10.
Yeah,
who like you have the Jedi set up that like Eli said. Pull that up real quick.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
you establish the order, then the Vong. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Listen, I have an outline for a pitch for my Rey movie that is basically an amalgamation of Fate of the Jedi and Star Wars Legacy. So, like, I can't talk shit because my whole thing is let's just do Darth Krayt.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, after, like, the Legends deep dive I've been doing over the last year and a half, and either revisiting or first time experiencing a lot of these books and stories, I can confidently say I would be way more okay with the Vong than I would have been, like,
and they're kind of there, too, like, in Thrawn. Like, they're...
Yeah, you get a little bit of it with the Grist, with this, like, extra galactic threat. Like the thing with
and also
Vong,
we've been to another galaxy.
We've been to another galaxy. The Vong, the thing for me that made the Vong such a tough sell initially was that I bumped so hard up against the idea of a species that was out of the range of the Force. And no spoilers for that series of books, but they do eventually explain that it's not so much that they are not a part of the Force, so much as that, like, the Force was severed from them. And again, not getting into the details and nitty gritty of that, I wouldn't mind that. And I'm down for it as long as it's hinged on the esoteric Force gobbledygook.
Yeah.
In the same way that, like, for me with Krayt, like, I'm like going all in on like, here's what Krayt did in Legends, but let's remix it in canon with like the concepts of the same.
I'm also just imagining like a scene, and if it is the Vong, like, so we've got the mystical side of Star Wars. We've got this like all powerful Force that we know is like this big thing in universe. Imagine like seeing like in a movie that like this thing that we've come to know, like, and trust, like,
and count on.
Yeah, you can't use it on them, and so like, what do you do?
It's all
like
about your wit.
That would be interesting. Like that, if you can find a way to. For me, it's all if you can make it work. If the writing works, that's what it comes down to. So like,
time will tell. Time will tell. Like I said, 2027. Who knows what? Who knows what it looks like 2 years from now? Just Star Wars in general. There's so much coming down the pipeline, so much we don't know about yet. that we will still see. We have Mando and Grogu next year, and then Starfighter the next year.
Is Ahsoka season 2 next year too?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. Man, that's pretty cool.
I think it's an interesting thing to hear from Woodsy. I really hope they don't try to justify Palpatine's actions with the Vong like in Legends. I have fucking 100% agree with you. Legend, if there's one thing I really dislike with Legends is how much they retroactively go, yeah, the Empire sucked, but like they only built the Death Star because they knew the Vong were coming.
Okay, but like,
and that is asinine and just
and also ridiculous. Like it's like in real, you don't justify an awful action because another awful action is coming.
Yeah,
like
yeah. At that point, we're going to get into like very uncomfortable, like fictionalized versions of like atomic weapons in World War II, and I don't trust this fandom to have those conversations in a tactful way at all.
I'll wear my Oppenheimer hat.
Galen Erso just staring at a pond as the raindrops fall.
I believe we did.
But yeah, like I said, this is very exciting stuff. Thank you guys all for joining us over these past couple of days. Yeah, time to tell with what's coming down the pipeline next and how everything's going to shake out. I'm very interested. I hope you're right that we know more about whatever the next steps for Rey Skywalker are moving forward. That'll be very exciting. You know, I do think you're right that we'll get stuff like that at Celebration 27. At least I fucking hope so. But yeah, I mean, hell, if there's a place to announce the next trilogy, that's why you're celebrating 50 years of Star Wars.
Absolutely.
It's kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity to kind of put it all on the table. But thank you all so very much for joining us. Be sure to stay in the loop with the Tnap channel and podcast feed. We're going to be talking Daredevil Born Again here soon. Obviously, we'll be talking Andor, all that jazz. So stay tuned. Stay in the loop with us. Thank you so very much for joining us. Bill, thank you for not only letting us into your home, but also doing this with me as well.
Absolutely. Thank you for letting me into your heart.
No, of course. But yeah, thank you all so very much for joining us. And may the force be with you always. No, too sweet. Yeah.
Stop! Move away from the cookie jar!
Well, I will see you all weekend long, but I am here with a very exciting announcement. In collaboration with our friends at Scopely, we are bringing Star Wars to one of the most popular mobile games. So get ready to roll your dice and jump into Lightspeed as we experience an all-new limited-time event in Monopoly